What's up guys? This behind me is an Eride Pro SR. And if you aren't familiar with the SR, it is a 25 kilowatt, 72 volt, 70 mile an hour e-moto. This bike costs $5,700. We've owned it for about 50 days. If you guys have been watching our channel, you'll know we did a first review video on this. And we also talked about the app and all the tuning that you can do with it. However, there has been one major problem with this bike that has kept us from riding it very much. We have only put 37 miles on this bike, which is absolutely crazy. If you guys follow our channel, you'll know we generally ride our bikes a ton, and by the time 50 days or 2 months rolls around, we usually have nearly 1,000 miles on the bikes because we like to test them and put all the components really through some abuse and see how they add up for you guys. However, the problem with this bike has been the throttle tune. It has just felt so bad that we haven't even wanted to ride it. It's also been winter and that's part of it, but when a throttle feels so bad, it basically just ruins a bike and makes you not have very much fun with it. So, in today's video, we are going to be testing a brand new throttle tune available for the SR. We spent the morning on the phone with Eride Pro, loading their new tune that they designed for the SR, and I have not ridden the bike yet. So right now we're going to throw the helmet cam on. We're going to get my first impressions on all three modes, Eco, Sport, and Race. See how that throttle feels. See if they genuinely fixed this bike and really put it to the test. Let's go. All right, here we go. The new SR. I'm actually excited to ride this bike now. Let's see how it feels. We're gonna turn it on, take it out of park. We are in Eco. Now, I have not messed with the app at all. All we did was load their new throttle tune, and that's it. I don't know if the settings I previously set on all the power levels and stuff are still there, or if it kind of reset those two and I need to go in and adjust if I want to. But we're just gonna start off in Eco, then try Sport and Race, see how we do. First off, right off the bat, I want to see how the deadband is because it was really bad. You had to twist the throttle really far before it kicked in. Let's see. Whoa. You're only twisting a tiny bit and it's so smooth. So smooth and slow. Oh, that's perfect. But then right in the middle, you can get some power. Dang, okay, that's so smooth. So far, this throttle's great. All right, we better try Sport. Now, they also updated where you don't just click the mode button, you have to actually hold it for like 2 seconds. So hold it, there's Sport, boom. Then you're not going into it accidentally. Let's see how Sport is. Deadband's good. Let's see if it ramps good. Whoa, it's fast. This bike's quick. See how easy it lifts the wheel. Whoa. Whoa, this thing is so much better. Let's gun it. Oh, wow. Dang, she just keeps pulling. All right, guys, so far so good on that new throttle tune, but there's also something else major that we improve on the SR later in this video for free. So keep watching. You're not going to want to miss that section either. All right, you guys, I am really stoked. Wow, that's so smooth. It's time to try Race. Here we go. Pop it in. Okay, let's see. Wow. This thing is no joke. The throttle is totally usable now. Totally usable. All right, let's try it on some dirt. I'm gonna drop it back down into Sport, see how the dirt does. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, the power's there when you want it, but it's not there if you don't need it. It's this throttle, they did a great job. kudos to Eride Pro for pulling through on the SR. I was a little skeptical. In all reality, sometimes it's really hard to make a bike that is this powerful actually feel good and be good enough for like beginners to ride. You know, I've been hesitant to recommend this bike to viewers of the channel or to customers because like it was terrifying. I just didn't want to see people get hurt because of how instantaneous the power hit on the low end. But now this bike is fixed, 100% fixed. I would gladly recommend this bike to nearly any rider now, and I'm stoked on it. Wow, this is great. And I have to emphasize, you guys, we're never paid to say good things for a company. We're always honest and truthful, and you guys know that because of how bad we talked about this bike. I mean, we never want to badmouth a product unless there's really a reason to do it. And so now that this thing is fixed, it's getting my stamp of approval. I think we better get Reed on this bike too so he can feel the difference. He's gonna be blown away. I think let's do that right now.
This throttle feels better than my bike. If you guys didn't know already, me and Lance are kind of throttle snobs. We like our throttles to feel excellent. That's why we love the X9000. It feels excellent. As well as the Nucular, it feels even more excellent. But it doesn't do enough phase amps for us. With our huge batteries. And this is right there with them. Oh, here we go. This is a good wheelie. Ah! I'm so glad they fixed this bike. It was just like a paperweight in our shop for the last month. Now it's rideable. Let's go. I'm getting excited for spring and summer. We can start riding more. So fast. If you guys need any parts, go to tbelectricmoto.com. This bike is on our website in stock right now, but not for long. Let's go catch up with Lance, see what he's up to.
Alright, you guys heard Reed's impressions. I just popped it into race. We're gonna see how scary this thing is. Huck it off this. Here we go. Wow! Woo, that was 50 miles an hour. Holy cow. I gotta say, the throttle is still really aggressive in race for off-road riding unless you're really trying to race. I think sport is where it's at. It's pretty much just as fast. Like, it's not quite as fast. Like, maybe if race is the full 25, sport is 20 kilowatts, which is still absolutely insane. But that just kind of shows like what this bike is like. But what I wanted to say is that in previous videos we've talked about how, you know, I would take an Altis Sigma over this bike just because of how bad the throttle was on this. But now that's totally changed. I would 100% take an Eride SR over an Altis Sigma. This bike is 20 pounds lighter than an Altis. The battery's higher capacity. This has more power. And I mean, this has a lot more mods available as well than the Altis. The Altis really is kind of a new platform. This is new as well, but man, that was 60 miles an hour. The Altis is a new platform, and so there's way less mods available for it compared to the SR. And now that this throttle is tuned and set up, this bike is primo, good to go.
All right, now that the throttle is fixed on the SR, there is one more free thing that we can do to make this bike feel better when you ride it, and that is
the front geometry. So you guys will see that there is a spacer right here. Let me go around the other side so the lighting's better. So you guys see this spacer right here? This used to be under here. And what we did is we moved that spacer to the top, which actually raises our frame, that spacer worth up. It's not a major difference. It doesn't actually change the height of our handlebars or our wheel position or anything like that. All it does is pivot our frame up, you know, 10, 15 millimeters. I don't know the exact measurement, but after riding it today, it is a good improvement. So we're gonna show you guys how to do it, but we're gonna do it on our 3.0 because we also want that bike to be better, and it's the same situation. Let's go and do it. Say hi to Reed, packing orders. So we're going back here to the next bike in question, our Eride 3.0. As you guys can see, the spacer is right there underneath the top triple crown. So we're gonna put that up here. Let's show you guys how to do it. If you guys are interested in this how-to portion, the video is not over. If you want to skip this, skip to roughly timestamp 18 minutes in. We're going to continue talking about the throttle and the SR all in all. So go skip to that if you're not interested in this. We're going to start by removing our wheel. On the 3.0 and the SR, we got the 4mm Allen pinch bolts. Loosen those up. Then we'll use our 8mm. Pop our axle cap off, and we'll slide our axle out. Take our wheel off. Next up, we're gonna remove our fender. All right, fender is off. Now to make the rest of the process easier, I'm gonna go ahead and remove our brake caliper from this leg so it's out of the way. Take off this hose mount and take off this hose guide right here. Just slide your hose out, you'll be good. Then we're going to cut all these zip ties on our number plate. Get it out of the way. Then from there, we're actually going to loosen our legs and just go ahead and slide them out, and it's just going to make the process easier. I know it seems like we're taking apart half the bike, but it's going to just make it a lot easier. We also need to remove this. And now this leg will slide out. Slide this off. Slide this off. And your leg come out. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Slide that leg down. Slide our bump stop up. So now we have a ton of wires all over here. We have our headlight, we have our bar, our stem, and our triple clamp. So now we need to loosen our stem right here and take our top nut off. This actually has a stem lock. So there's a bolt that goes from here all the way to the bottom. That's why we had to take our fender off. So now we can loosen that and we will pull that out, because we're gonna have to take this whole top assembly off to be able to move that spacer. So now I'm holding the bottom of the stem lock, unscrewed it, this comes out the bottom, and this comes out the top. With that out, you can go ahead and loosen the pinch bolts on your stem. Now with those loose, you're gonna loosen this pinch bolt on your top triple clamp. Okay, once those are all loose, then now you should be able to lift off this whole top. You can leave these two stem bolts on. You lift this all off while holding the bottom. Okay, so look at that. You're slid off, and now we want to remove the spacer was stuck to the bottom of that. So there's your spacer you're going to take out, push this back in, grab the piece that I dropped, put that back on, and then you can go ahead and just slide the whole thing back on. So all we did was just take this apart to remove that spacer. And now the spacer is going to go right here, right on top. And now our stem lock is also going to go back in. The easiest way to put this stem lock in is absolutely to push the top part in first, hold it perfectly straight, and reach the bottom part in and screw it in. Otherwise, it's really difficult to line up. Now, once you tighten your stem lock, that's what essentially holds everything together. It's what compresses your bearings. So we're going to go ahead and just tighten that up. You don't want to go real tight. You want to make sure your steering still feels good. You want to make sure these legs are essentially lined up best that you can. And then we don't need to tighten these other bolts yet, because we can adjust the play in a second once we get our legs back in. All right, now we're going to put our legs back in. Make sure you get each leg on the right side. The one that hooks your brake on goes on that side. And also make sure to put your bump stops back on. You have to slide your leg in halfway, put your bump stop on. Now remember, you can always turn these to get them to line up right. So get those all the way up, and then we are going to only clamp the bottom bolts, pinch bolts for right now. On the second leg, it's important that you make sure that all your wires are on the inside, not the outside. Now that both legs are in and our bottom treble clamp bolts are tight, we can now go ahead and just double check that our stem lock is tight. I'm going to snug it up a little bit now that we're all straight, and we're going to tighten up this pinch bolt on the stem, this pinch bolt on the other side of the stem, this center one on your triple clamp, and then both side ones on your each fork leg. And now we can put our brake back on and our fender back on. All right, we got our brake caliper back on, everything to line the line up, and then now we're going to put our fender back on, and then our wheel. Okay, we are almost done. Just got to put our wheel in. Tighten our pinch bolts. Don't want to go real tight on those or they'll snap. All right, double check that your steering feels good. Should be good to go.
Well guys, now that the biggest problem with the SR, in my opinion, has been solved, it makes this bike way more appealing to me. But I want to know you guys' thoughts. Like, do you think at $5,700 this bike is worth the money? Do you think it's an incredible value? Do you think it's a mediocre value? I want you guys to drop a comment. I really want to know what you guys are thinking about it. In my opinion, I think it's a great value. The amount of bike that you get with 25 kilowatts, a big battery with good range, you know, you get Fastace suspension. I think for $5,700 this bike is pretty much a bargain compared to a lot of the other competition. I like it way more than the Altis Sigma. I need to spend a lot more time on the Altis, but I mean, man, that bike is 20 pounds heavier, has less power, has a smaller battery, less range. Yes, it looks more like a dirt bike, which I don't care about one bit. That has probably a better rear suspension linkage and design. I do like the feel of the rear suspension better on the Altis than the SR, but I like the lighter weight, bigger battery, more power. It's just, those things are hard to beat. What do you guys think of the SR? And what videos do you want to see on this bike? We obviously are going to have to start putting some upgrades on it, but there's not much that it needs. In all reality, I would love to put a 21-inch front wheel on it, but there isn't one that's perfectly compatible yet, so that is to come in the future. Otherwise, we're good on power, we're good on tune, we don't need an upgraded controller, we're good on battery, we're good on brakes, we're decent on suspension, we're good on foot pegs. I mean, what else do you need? Like, the headlight's good. It's already got a headlight on and off switch. For the amount of night riding I like to do, I'd probably throw a Gigago light on there. If you're interested in one of those, check the link in the video description. That's the brightest headlight you can get. Man, I mean, we don't even need upgraded tires. Like, we got good tires, we got a good tail light. Man, this bike is sweet.
All right guys, there's one more thing that is super helpful that I learned about the SR while making this video, and that is that within the SR app, right here, I'm at the very top of all the settings. Just right in here, there is a selection that says street or trail tune. Now you want it to be on street tune. That's the tune that feels good. So if you recently bought an SR, you might already have the good updated throttle tune, but your bike might be on the trail, which is when it's red. You want it to be gray, which is the arrow basically pointing towards the street tune. And you guys might be good to go. The street tune is the one that has zero deadband, that feels super smooth and nice like I'm explaining in this video. The trail tune is the one that is has a lot of deadband before the throttle starts engaging, and then it has just a ton of instantaneous torque, which doesn't feel very good to the majority of riders. So you might already be good to go on your SR. Go and make sure you got it selected to street. If it still feels really bad, the likelihood is that you don't have the updated tune yet. And at that point, contact your dealer. All right guys, I think it's time to wrap up this video on the SR. If you guys have any questions about the new throttle tune or the tuning process or anything like that, drop a comment and we'll help you out best we can. At the moment, you do have to have a special tuning dongle and software and everything to be able to do this. So all the new bikes coming from Eride will have this new tune. And if you don't have the new tune on your bike already, work with your dealer to try to get a tune sorted out for you. It's definitely worth trying to get. Don't just, sit around with a throttle that you don't enjoy or don't like. Get it figured out. Your dealer should be taking care of you. If you guys are interested in purchasing an Eride SR, we have them in stock right now at tbelectricmoto.com. We're going to open up all our bikes and make sure they're flashed with the latest and greatest. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. We'll catch you next video. See ya.